The Brooklyn Nets even their record at 1-1 on the season with a home victory over the Toronto Raptors on Friday night. And now they're going to hit the road for their next two games. Joining me to talk some Brooklyn hoops is New York Post Nets beat writer Brian Lewis. Brian, how's it going, man?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Got to be better for you. See, the Nets got to win after not looking so good in their first game, so things got to be a little bit better. Now, Brian, strong comeback win for the Nets on Friday night. They were led by 7-11. KD and Kyrie, for those that don't know. And after being blown out by the Pelicans in the season opener, how impressed were you with how Brooklyn bounced back in Game 2?
I mean, listen, I was more impressed with the mental fortitude, right? I mean, KD can average 27. I'm never surprised to see Kyrie drop 30 and cook in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it was nice to see Nick Claxton perform the way he did, but the biggest thing to me was watching them clamp down on defense in that 17-0 run. And even when they blew a 12-point fourth quarter lead, in the fourth quarter to have the mental toughness and togetherness to grind out a win, that was probably more impressive to me than any of the individual performances.
Now, speaking of individual performances, let's talk about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, he was practically a no-show against the Pels, but against the Raptors, he had 6 points, 10 boards, 8 assists. So should Nets fans be encouraged with what they saw from Simmons on Friday night?
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't call it a quantum leap, but it was a marked step forward. Like KD said, he played free. He wasn't overthinking the game. He was just letting it come naturally to him and relying on his ability. And here's the thing. There's a lot more in there. He's got a long way to go. Now, we don't know whether that's going to come in fits and starts or whether it's going to be linear. We don't know. But the closer he gets to being his old self, the better Brooklyn's going to be.
Next up for Brooklyn, back-to-back away games against playoff teams in Memphis and Milwaukee. What will you be keeping an eye on as this team takes their show on the road?
Rebounding, period. I mean, that's it. The Nets have struggled for years on the boards. Now, you know who was number one in rebounding last year? Memphis. You know who was number two? Milwaukee. So, I mean, this year in rebounding percentage, they're both in the top 6, and Brooklyn's dead last. So this is not an issue that we can say we've put to bed. You know it's going to be there, and it's something that they're going to have to at least somewhat mitigate if they're going to have a successful season. So if you want to see your board work tested, this is your AP. This is your AP exam. Wow. These two teams will maul people on the boards, and it'll be fascinating to see how the Nets stand up to that.
It will be fascinating indeed to see how they stand up to them. A good test against two playoff teams from a year ago. That is Brian Lewis, New York Post Nets beat reporter. Brian, enjoy your time in Memphis and Milwaukee. Hopefully you have some barbecue down in Memphis, enjoying a little bit of Beale Street. I don't know what to say about Milwaukee because there's not that much great to do in Milwaukee, but enjoy your time.
I'll try.